Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University, and Hunt for Wolverine Dead Ends, one shot. Just ignore that. That should say shot afterwards, hyphen shot. Anyway, there's a one shot, all right? And this is the culmination. Go and check out the description below. You could see the Hunt for Wolverine Lost Souls, and then all the four-issue miniseries, the four-issue miniseries that came out afterwards, all the way up to this right here, and this will lead into the Wolverine comic book, as it were. Am I correct in that? It's gonna, yeah, the Return of Wolverine, one shot, okay? Or I don't know if it's one shot, but it says number one. This thing, all right? The Return of Wolverine number one. So there is actually a Wolverine appearance in here. I said that in the beginning of my This Week in Comics. I was like, I hope there's at least an appearance of Wolverine actual in this, and got my wish. Also, just for the sake of curiosity, this is also the first appearance of the Hot Claws. That's right. That's right. Aside from advertisements, all right, this is the first genuine appearance of the Hot Claws. Just saying. Just saying. It's kind of a cameo appearance, but could you expect anything else? So, yeah, this, if you're interested in, you know what, just if you're interested in the first appearances, this is not a first appearance of, this is actually the first appearance of a character in here also, the person behind Soitera. I'm not going to tell you anything else about her. Oops, let something slip. But yes, there's a whole bunch about her in here, and it's a first appearance. It's not even just a cameo appearance. No, this is a full appearance. All right, and then the first cameo appearance of the Hot Claws. Okay, let's get into the actual book itself, because this is really good. I was surprised how good this was. Writer Charles Soule, artist Ramon Rosanos, color artist Guru FX, letterer VC's Joe Sabino, cover artist Marco Cecchetto, and variant cover artist Dale Keown and Jason Keith. The art in this is really good, okay? There's some scenes in here which are not iffy, but just not as good as other scenes, but there's no scene in here that's particularly bad, all right? So I'm really liking the art in here. Ramon Rosanos and Guru FX, man, keep these people employed, because I'm liking what I'm seeing inside of this comic book. You get a little bit about Betsy in here. You're going to get a little bit about everything. Yes, even Sabretooth's team. In fact, Charles Soule actually goes and gives a bit of an explanation as to why they know what's going on with Sabretooth's team, and a little bit of an explanation even as to why Sabretooth was acting the way that he was acting. Was not in my best interests, was not in the character's best interest, was not in the comic company, Marvel's best interests, in my opinion. I don't know of any fans who looked at this and said, oh, I'm glad that Sabretooth is back to doing this again, and we're forgetting everything else that's happening currently in the comic books and what's predated it for the past 2 years. Actually, that would be about 4 years now, 4 years. So, no, I don't think anybody was happy with Sabretooth's portrayal in that particular whatever that one was, Claws of a Killer, that 4-issue limited series, but at least it was addressed here, and I like that. So the way it was addressed, that's on you to figure out. I don't want to just give away everything that happens here, because I'm going to be giving away a lot. A bunch of mutants, it turns out 10 of them, are actually gathered around the world, and this is the scenery in here, while there's just a few words. This is why I say that the art, man, if you don't remember to go back and look at the beginning of this comic book, you might just think that the art was very passable. It was good and passable, but no. There was very few words. There were very few words in the beginning of this comic book, all right, before you actually come to the credit page. So the entire story, for the most part, is told with, I think, 4 narration boxes, and a location. Everything else is done with nothing but the pictures, the images, and it's beautiful, and it's perfect. You go back and you just stare at those first 3 pages. Absolutely perfect, all right? Like, dude, real talk right here. Ramon Rosadas, he is an expert storyteller just with art alone. Fantastic. Cannot compliment this guy enough. If he does not have an exclusive Marvel contract, I think that Marvel is criminally liable for not being smart enough to hire this guy full-time. All right, that's how good this art is. I really like this, dude. This was great. The little scenery that we get, the idea that Tony Stark has a motorcycle. I've never seen this before. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It hasn't already happened, but Tony Stark has a motorcycle that can turn into several different iterations of his armor. I love that. Oh my God, that is great. The little tiny scenes that you see of Daredevil flying around town, flipping across buildings, flying over trees, like just really great. How he's basically racing Stark to get to the X-Mansion. These guys get there. It's cool because the only X-Man that's there at the same time as what's happening in the Extermination comic book, the only X-Men that's there at the same time that I recognized immediately was Kitty Pryde, which is something that you can't really get around. It's very hard to get around that one. You could, you know what I'm saying, like, Extermination kind of needs Kitty Pryde in. I guess they could have done without her, said, oh, she's off on another mission someplace. Last I heard, she's in Madripoor. They could have said that, you know what I'm saying? So, and in fact, it might have actually worked that, but go and check out my review on there, on Extermination, issue number 2, to get my take on that. But in this one, she's the only one who's actually in here, and that's kind of important if you read Extermination also. But I like that Tony Stark is impressed with what's going on in the X-Mansion. I like the way that everything was brought together. This, I think, like, this is beautiful. The art is beautiful. It's just what's actually placed inside here. Maybe there's a spoiler in there, but for the, like, I'm not sure. But my eyes, I can't see every single one of these things. I just don't see that darn well. Like, this one looks like Maybelline. What the heck does that even say? Mabel? Anyway, I think that's the town that those knuckleheads were at. Either way, this is cool. I like this. I don't particularly care about the words that are inside of here. For instance, this is kind of a spoiler. Persephone was Persephone spoken of before? Because Persephone is actually the person behind Soitera, the symbol and the business name right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this was cute. You know, this was cute. Like, the art on this is fantastic. I'm wondering if we couldn't have had better words in here, better clues, better hints to actually put all of this together. That would have been great. Personally, that would have been great. The question of, is there a space station that they're dealing with, or is it just a satellite network? Is it something more? Orbital insertions. I love that. Stuff like that is really cool. But I feel like they could have snuck a couple extra things in there. In the meantime, the X-Mansion is attacked by giant almonds. Maybe they're pecans. I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of disappointed that I don't have, like, a couple of, I don't know, little props that I could use and just, oh, here it comes, in my mouth is the X-Mansion. But no. Firestorm and Aurora Storm and Iron Man go up to meet this threat. But I want you to recognize there are 3 people there. All right, 3 flying people there. And there are 4 of these giant-sized almonds made of tungsten steel. So, gee, what happens to the other one? What happens to the other one is one of the coolest little ideas that I've seen in a while. All right? I'm not going to get into it anymore. Anything else that I say is going to tell you exactly what happens next. But this is really cool. And then you get this scene. Which one is it? No, not this scene. This scene, which is actually pretty sick. All right? After they almost kill themselves, quite literally, this is the scene they come across. And then you're going to be introduced to Persephone, who is actually in charge of Soitera. And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. She could have, of course, she could have had a bigger scene, but I'm not particularly worried about that. It was good enough. It's just good enough. And then, oh, what's that? What's that? It looks like claws. It looks like hot claws to me. Yeah, last page. You're not getting anything else unless you buy the book. To be continued in Return of Wolverine, issue number 1, which again is this guy right here. This was a fantastic book. This was, you know, some of them were hot, some of them were not so hot. I'm looking at you, Claws of a Killer. You really disappointed me. Some of them, yeah, whatever. Whatever ones you liked, whatever ones you didn't like. This did bring it all together in a... I didn't expect it to be much more than this. This is pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. But I almost felt like I just had to read through that small part to get to the beginning of this and then the two endings of this, and the action, which was actually really amazing in this. For one issue, and it's not a double-sized issue or anything, it's a regular-sized issue, there had a lot in this, and I love this. I love this. This is really good, and again, can't possibly express how much I love the art in this. Fantastic. It's all those littler details. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to the return of Wolverine at this point. I'm looking forward to what they're doing to him. I'm impressed. All right, guys. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.